Add to stream, add to stream, add to stream. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we did it.
Did the thing.
So is this one public now?
So, I mean, probably. I didn't put anything for it to not be. So
let's see. Go comments and see. So that way we could see if it works.
Right. Down.
This camera makes my eyes look really blue, and it's freaking me out.
What?
My camera makes my eyes look really blue, and it's freaking me out.
Do you have blue eyes?
Mm-hmm.
I wish my camera made my eyes look blue. It just makes them look like I'm wearing the goggles from The Invisible Man. Okay. So, wait. What am I doing? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I can see it on my channel.
Okay, I see it on your channel too.
Okay, and then test comment.
Woo!
And then, oh no, see, it puts all the stuff. See, I don't see the comments in StreamYard. I wonder if it's just that delayed. Can you guys see it?
Not yet, no. If you're not in the private, when like there's the two different chat windows, there was the general chat was I think where they're supposed to go.
Yeah, so I'm here in comments. Okay, so then there's the private chat. See, I can private chat there.
Oh,
okay.
There's
it's just delayed.
It's super delayed.
Okay, so you guys can see it in the chat now. So can you guys highlight one?
No, I cannot click on it.
Not
The one
highlights.
that runs the stream clicks on it.
That kind of sucks, but okay. All right, that's fine. That just means we have to communicate during the live. Like, hey, this one, put this one up there.
We might have to have like Discord off in the corner of our computer, like, hey, look at this one or whatever.
There we go. I like that better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like we all look like we're trying to take selfies. I don't understand.
Goodness.
Okay, cool. So this works.
Awesome. So I think
and we haven't been taken down yet.
hey, there we go.
That's a pretty good accomplishment. I think you were right. I think it was just the
name that is a copyright thing. We now invented a word, so we should.
Right, exactly. And like I did some Googling. I was like, what are words for Brandon Sanderson fans? And so many people were like Sharders and Sander fans. And I was like, we're just gonna pick one of these made up words that we're allowed to use.
For next week.
I started listening to the like the fully acted thing, Sammy, that you put up, and oh my
super intense.
God,
I couldn't handle it. I was like, nope.
Oh, I love it so much. I'm gonna get so much house cleaning done because of this book.
I read for about an hour, and I've read 202. Or no, it's more like 2 hours, like 202 pages.
I'm a terrible reader. I'm one of those people who likes to like get every single word. So.
Especially with books like these, like I was telling Casey, I don't read a whole lot of adult high fantasy. So like this is one of my first like really big ones, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna take me a while.
So the reason I like got with that other person to like help hear her to him or her to like get it started. I actually can't tell from their picture or their name.
I just called them. It's like they.
them, etc. I got with them because I'm trying to read this slowly. Like I'm taking notes. I refuse to write in my book because I have to lend this to people, and I can't. For me at this point with the book I'm going to reread, I'll annotate something I'm not going to reread, but I'm writing down characters and all these things, and I haven't read for very long, and I've already read 200 pages. So I'm like, I know I'm going to be way ahead of the schedule. So I was like, I'll get started.
It's so immersive. I mean, like, it's no one. As I started reading this, I was like, this is why everyone says Stormlight is his best one. I get it now.
Yeah. Friends. I started here. So, like, it was all. I think because I started here, I appreciated his other stuff a lot because I was like, I know how you got here.
Carolyn!
Hey, Carolyn's here.
Oh, we gotta watch her. That's awesome.
That's fun. I love your face. So this is how I started trying to like annotate books. I started trying to tab stuff, but because I'm somebody who likes to read every single word, I just was like 3 tabs per page, and it was like, this is never gonna work. Like, you're never actually gonna make it through this book if you try to do it this way.
Yeah, so what I'm doing for annotating at this point is I'm writing down every time there's a new character because I lost track of a lot of them the first time. I'm also writing down all of the different types of spren because I missed a lot of those last time, and like some socioeconomic deals.
Yeah.
I have a favorite things page that only has one thing on it yet. And then I'm basically just writing a couple thoughts on each chapter. That was my thought process. And if there's any descriptions on the characters, I add those with the characters. Which is, I'm so mad I'm doing this. I'm like, I just want to read it faster.
So not to be like spoiler for Carolyn because she hasn't read much Sanderson, but should I be paying attention to this spren? Like, I feel like they're important, but I can't. I guess I don't know what's important and what's like.
No.
It's part of the magic system. That's something that I've picked up on. Is like it's part of the magic system, and I picked up on that because I read the synopsis, and it's like emotions manifest as magic, and I'm like, that's some really fucking cool thing happening right there.
I like this is an impromptu discussion that we're just having on YouTube. Leave this one up. It's great.
Welcome to the madness.
The madness here. Yeah. I will.
We love you, Carolyn. Thank you for coming to the party.
Yes, thank you.
We love you.
I will say Sammy and Carolyn and everybody else. Hi, Carolyn. I'm new to the like being on sort of admin status here. And so I will say the spren. They're part of like the magic in the world, and you know how you were confused about the magic with Zeth, and then don't know how it connects to everything else. You'll see how the spren kind of like bridge that like knowledge gap. I don't want to say too much because it's really cool, but still is a spren.
So I started reading, like I got through chapter 2 today, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, so like we have these warriors who are like clad in this storm shard armor and like wielding these swords, and then we also have this guy that like does something completely different, and then we have these spren things, and I'm like, are there really like 4 different magic systems happening right now? This is insane.
Shard, but that's nothing.
I'm so excited. I did not think, like, I was very intimidated by these books, but I started reading it and I was like, this is going to be no problem. Like, I am here for this. I'm ready.
The thing that freaked me out was I was reading whatever the very first chapter is. There's like the thing before the prologue, and then you turn the page and it's like 4,500 years later, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like,
so I honestly, like, with the interludes, you'll kind of be like, what is going on? And I'm still there, and I've read 3 of the books. So I think they're going to come together by book 5.
I'm so excited.
I hope so. I hope they wait till book 10. Good Lord.
So, like, I have a confession.
Book 5, because they're 2 different eras, kind of like how Mistborn has 2 different eras. They're kind of... Okay. So that's why I'm thinking book 5 will have a... I honestly, like, so I was really mad when I first read the first 3 because I thought it was just a trilogy, and I was like, there's so many unanswered questions. My brother's like, there's going to be 10 books, and I was like, oh, okay.
So it made me really sad because I was listening to Sanderson's lectures. Like, I'm an author person, so I listen to his lectures on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, he's a genius. Absolute genius, completely freaking savant. And then on the other side of it, he was talking about how he needed to finish the Stormlight Archives because he doesn't want to wind up in the same boat that Robert Jordan was in. And I was like, no, you can't talk about you dying. I'm not okay with this.
Oh, I'm like,
no.
So Brandon Sanderson, I'm like, so when I got like invested in the Stormlight Archive, like I read it like Christmas, I think 2018 is when I read the first 3, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. My brother told me it was 10 books, whatever. And then I read the rest of the Cosmere, and then I was like, we are in a pandemic. He is an late middle-aged, overweight individual. He cannot go outside.
Right. Like, no.
Yeah, Carolyn has met him, by the way. I'm super jealous that she's met him.
Yes, she's met him, and she has a signed copy of Elondris, and I'm like, oh! Like, I love you, but take me with you.
I wish.
I need to make it happen. Like, seriously, I don't live very far from a major city. In like Lexington, Kentucky is a place where lots of things happen. And I swear to God, he shows up anywhere within a 6-hour drive from me, and I am there. Like, it's happening. Like, I will bail on everything and be like, I'm going to meet
I
her.
borrowed the first 2 books from I'll say a friend. I don't really talk to him anymore, but he was like, he also reads, and he was like, you have to read this book. He had one of the signed books from meeting him, and it was the one with like the extra cool artwork. It was hardcover, and I was like, I haven't talked to him in a while, and he was kind of a jerk. It was like a whole issue with that, and I'm like, but I want to go back and just say thank you. But like, here we are. I'm not going to.
It's okay though, Carolyn. Like, Elantris is really good, but it's his weakest work. Like, it really is. It's not his best. I have to go say goodnight to my boys really quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I will say for Elantris, I was always like told it was his weakest work, and it was actually the one I read after reading the entire rest of Nightmare. So I didn't have a lot of high hopes for it, but because of that, I was actually like very pleasantly surprised. I'm like, I expected it to be a lot worse based on what everybody was saying. So I was happy that it was. I think he's definitely like, I think, planning at this point to write a second book, which I think will kind of. I'm honestly interested to see the like difference in his writing, but we got another person.
So many people are here.
We're just hanging out.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
Hi, Monique Book Nerdy. I'll have Kat when she gets back put your comment on the screen because she has the power.
Yeah, I read the final. See, okay, I guess I need to find out with this group of fans. Do we call the first Mistborn book Mistborn or the Final Empire? Like, which do we want to?
I think Mistborn is the name of the series. Like this one, the Stormlight Archive is the name of the series. I kind of, when I'm talking about it in general call it Mistborn, but I'm also talking about all 6 books that are out. So it's, I don't really know.
I started with the Final Empire. That was the first Sanderson I ever read. And then I found the original read-along, which we won't talk about, but I found that. And then I got caught up with Elantris, or like I read Elantris with that group. And then I just waited till we got to Wall of Ascension. And then the thing fell apart. And then Kat and I were like, no, this is not falling apart. We're bringing it back together.
Thank you guys for doing that. I was really bummed. I was like, I got on the channel, like all this stuff had happened. And then there was like all the spam messages. And I was like, dang.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually Kat that did it. Kat did it first because she was like, I do not want this to die. And then I followed her right along with it. And I messaged her like the second or third day that it was up. And I was like, hey, if this gets out of control, let me know. I'll help you. Like, I don't know a lot about Discord, but I'll help you. Yeah. And then Casey came along and now she's helping.
Well, so I found the Cosmere along because I followed Little Book Owl.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing I think to come out of that for me was that I found the Catherine Reed's girl because she's awesome. I love her channel. She's just very funny. Mm-hmm. And she also like loves all the Brandon Sanderson stuff a lot. So that was good. But I found that right after I actually finished reading Mistborn Era 1, Warbreaker Era 2 in that order. And I was like, I'm ahead of schedule. But so that's why I've been hanging out. But I was like, when Kat was like getting the Stormlight Archive started, I was like talking to her about that for a few things with that. And I was like, if you need any help, I will read that with y'all, like on sort of schedule. I'm going to be ahead of schedule because I read really fast. But
you're crazy and you've been reading for 2 hours and I've read 200 pages.
It's probably more than 2 hours, but it was just very they were very short chunks, so the time doesn't mean anything. I like
time during a pandemic.
I like the reason. Oh, by the way, hey, Book Nerdy. I know we already said that you were here and hi, but glad you're reading the Stormlight Archive with us. That'll be fun. I actually so I technically made some YouTube videos 5 years ago, and then not 5. I'm not that old. 3 years ago, and then I got really busy with college and all that. And so I'm also still just a very busy person. So the pandemic means I don't have all the socializing time that I usually took up. So I'm like, booktube, shove it there. It's funny because my roommate was like, you've turned reading into a job. And I'm like, I don't care. I need to do something with my time. I have to I think she pointed the something about it, some quality of anxiety where you just can't be alone with thoughts very long. And she's like, you're doing that. We're with the book too. But Kat, we have another person.
Monique's here. Hey. We're trying to test out the live stuff to make sure we don't crash and burn on Saturday.
And now we're just hanging out.
Because I'm convinced that's what book people do. They're like, yes, let's just get together for 5 minutes. But then for 30 minutes, we're going to talk about books.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting at my bookshelf that is sort of a rainbow. So yeah.
I really wanted to do a rainbow
my
shelf.
books behind me, but.
So what I ended up doing for my books, because I have quite a few of them, is the top shelf is Sanderson and my fancy ass copy of Name of the Wind. I forgot what it was. And then these are my Haruki Murakami books, and then these are all classic or classic adjacent books. So I was like, I can rainbow those. I have a problem mixing genres on my bookshelf, but if they're all sort of classics, I'm like, okay, we can rainbow that.
So mine, I have some serious OCD because I wanted to rainbow. I was like, oh, I have so many books I can rainbow now. But then I tried to do it, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to find anything. Author, last name, or nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's me. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to find anything if I didn't do it by author, last name.
I kind of have them in author sections. They're not I don't have, so this is the only bookshelf I have. I have a new IKEA bookshelf that away, in my kitchen that has my books that I haven't read yet on them, and and Harry Potter and another series I like, and my coffee table books. But above the piano, I have Michael Crichton and then Stephen King is the last section, and then this is just miscellaneous other things. And yeah.
I have an unhaul off to the side, and I took my J.K. Rowling books and I put them all off to the side because she was being nasty on Twitter. It's I can't display on my bookshelf anymore.
The problem with her being nasty on Twitter is that I had just recently bought these new covers for them. They were the Nerdy Inc. Redesigned artwork stuff, and they're beautiful. And so I'm I love the books. I don't love the person. If people
right.
So that's where I'm at. Monique Book Nerdy. I am attempting to do a little bit of the Avatar: The Last Page Turner readathon.
What?
So I'm merging that with the tome doppel because I'm conveniently reading a big ass tome. So
the Avatar one, I think, is it Thoughts on Tomes? No. Who is it? Is it? Who? I saw the video.
Is the tome toppelathon. I will. The thoughts. The Avatar one is. It's this person. It's his Instagram is ITZKEVSNEGRON.
Yeah.
What?
That.
I just need you to drop that in the Discord, love.
Please put that in Discord.
Sorry.
So I tried doing the it's Kev Negrin. Okay. All right, cool. I'm trying to do the heartathon, and I'm also trying really hard to accept the fact that I'm human, and that's difficult for me because I just would really rather be a wizard or a vampire or something. I'm trying not to add on to that, but you said Avatar, and I'm like, Avatar?
So the Avatar one is actually the 4 different things, and I will pull it up here and tell y'all because it's actually all about reading diversity style books. So basically, the Fire Nation is Latin books, authors, characters. Air Nation is Asian authors, characters, books. There's more descriptions and things.
Right.
And then I didn't save the other 2 pictures, but I will. I have his Instagram still open, so hold on. Because they were different screenshots. Here we go. Can I
Tell
go
us
to
what readathons you're in the comments, Monique. I'm curious.
The NEWTS and the Heartathon, and obviously Sanderson.
Yeah, I know that Carolyn's working on NEWTS too.
So the Water Nation is Indigenous people's authors' books, and the Earth Kingdom is Black authors, characters' books, etc. So I'm doing the Fire Nation. So I'm reading Isabel Allende's Daughter of Fortune, but guess what? I'm reading it in Spanish because I'm nuts. But
you're like one of those awesome people I wish I could be someday. You're who I want to be when I grow up, Casey.
You killed her. Oh no.
I actually hit my arm on this like TV. So I do. My Spanish is not as good as it was when I lived where I grew up, because I was basically like, it was right on the border with Texas and Mexico, so I was like very south. But my mom also grew up in Mexico, so I do know Spanish, but I need to practice. The challenge accepted on this.
I need to practice too. Like, I've studied Spanish for 3 years. I did really well. I went on a cruise at one point, and like the cruises are weird, and like privileged white people problems, right? But like cruises are weird, and we had one waiter for the entire time if we decided to dine in like the formal dining room, which my aunt wanted me to have that experience, so I put on a stuffy dress every freaking day and went to a fancy dining room. And he was like super impressed with my Spanish, so we would have conversations in Spanish. But since then, I haven't used it, and so I just am like, I don't know Spanish anymore, and it makes me sad.
So I just recently joined a nonprofit that like was a lot of Hispanic people, and I was getting to practice and all of that. And there's a Stephen King read-along.
The Priority of the Orange Tree read-along and Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson read-along.
Monique, can you tell me about the Stephen King one? Because I love him and I need to do it. I literally just filmed my August TBR video though, so like it's not going to have that in there. But I actually, so for the tome one, I'm attempting a few things, and most of the books I've already started before it starts. But I'm also like, told them I'm like, I might not read 5 tomes this month because that's a lot of pages. Even if I did manage,
like Becca could read 5 tomes in a month, but I just don't know like mere mortals who can do that.
Well, so like, oh, it's on the Discord channel. I will have to look. Thank you. I will have to check that out. Monique, my favorite author is John Steinbeck. I'm just like pulling out my book.
John Steinbeck, woman.
Mostly, this is my favorite book, so I think like they go hand in hand. This is my favorite book. Let's rephrase that.
I respect that. I respect that. I liked Steinbeck's. I had to read his King Arthur.
I have not read that.
It's amazing, but you get to the end and it's not done because he died before he finished it. And I was like, this is the biggest heap of cow dung I have ever had in my life. This is not fair. And Lancelot is my favorite character, and he receives no justice. And I was just done. I was like, I can't.
So this is my favorite book. I think my favorite author right now is actually probably Brandon Sanderson, but that's also mostly what I've read this year.
Right. Second. Second.
Yep. Right along there with you. Yep.
I feel like I might really like V.E. Schwab, but I need to get one of her things on my list. She seems like she's somebody who's really up my alley. I wanted to like Alexis Hall, but his book that I tried to, or they might be non-binary. Their book that I read just didn't resonate with me, which is unfortunate because it has a gorgeous cover.
Well, that's so pretty.
Yeah. And it's like Sherlock Holmes based, and I love Sherlock Holmes. But it's like, you know those books that are like more of like a person going through a world instead of like having an arc of their own? Like it's all this exploration, but not really a character arc. I don't like it when characters don't have arcs. Oh no. Casey's
Oh,
gone.
no.
What happened?
Where did Casey go?
Casey, come back.
Yeah, my favorite author is
Oh,
probably.
wait, everybody's got like. Okay, so hold on.
Wait, are we all up to build?
J. Kristoff, V. E. Schwab. There she is.
There it is.
I started staring
The what?
I
Casey,
closed the
come
tab
back.
on accident. I closed a thing about a Raspberry Pi that I did earlier, and then I was
My husband has a Raspberry Pi. He uses it as a game emulator.
I'm building my mom for her birthday a photo frame, but I didn't want to. She didn't want just to buy her one because they break. And so I had a Raspberry Pi and an extra computer monitor, so I was like, here we go. Because I couldn't just do something simple, of course. I had to make it hard.
So I know J. Kristoff. I know V. E. Schwab. I haven't read either of them. Pierce Brown, I don't know. And Gail Carriger, I don't know
Pierce
her.
Brown is Red Rising.
Pierce Brown is Red. I don't know that one either.
I liked the first 3 books. I did not like the 4th one because the characters and time goes by. What's your favorite Stephen King book? Yeah, the Pierce Brown. Yeah, I like the first 3. I didn't love the 4th one, so I didn't finish the second 2 that were spin-offs. No.
I liked Pierce Anthony. His Mortal Instruments series I thought was really fun. I stopped reading at book 6 though, because then he started going off into sub-character plots, and I was like, I don't care about this anymore. Oh, she's hiding something.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna stand all the way up, and I'm in really short shorts, and this is on the internet. So
Okay, I could respect.
This copy of Name of the Wind is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen.
Look at those. Let's show the pages. The pages on the side. Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous.
Name of the Wind, and then we got the sprayed edges.
Oh.
And then this is that famous quote, I have stolen princesses, back da 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 da. It's the 10th anniversary edition because it's been so damn long since we finished the books. That's the back cover. I liked the stand and it, Monique. I have it. I think my favorite is the Shining and Doctor Sleep. Both of those. I love Doctor Sleep. I think it's my favorite Stephen King book, but you have to read The Shining first, so that's why I group them together. But yeah, they're just beautiful. I think there's more illustrations. This was my Christmas present from my brother.
Noel Stevenson, not sure about that one. Robert Jordan. Sammy and I are tackling Robert Jordan next year.
Yep. Yes, we are.
I'm tackling it now because I'm nuts.
I can't do
More crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
I can do multiple high fantasies together. I'm doing some Robin Hobb and Brandon Sanderson together, but I feel like because Brandon Sanderson finished out Robert Jordan's stuff, it's going to be way too similar, and I'm not going to be able to separate the two.
Smart.
So I wouldn't. The first, I know. So there's I think Robert Jordan writes 6 or 7 of the books before Brandon Sanderson gets involved. I'm only on book 3, and I'm gonna say they are very different. I enjoy Brandon Sanderson's writing a lot more. It's a lot more descriptive, and when we were talking earlier about the magic systems and high fantasy and stuff, Brandon Sanderson's are so clear, and Robert Jordan's are so vague, and I
think that's a difference of the times, honestly.
That is, and I get it, but it's just a lot slower, and Robert Jordan still does the perspective switch.
Ooh, Lumberjanes.
Okay, he does. One of the characters in particular, I'm I hate your chapters, and he's the only one that's had chapters so far in the 3rd book. I'm come on, can we please hear from anybody that's not Perrin?
Oh, that's so funny. I know that Murphy Napier, she's one of the bigger booktubers, loves Perrin. And I hear her rave about Perrin, and all of her subscribers rave about Perrin, but then anybody else is no, fuck that guy.
I hope he'll grow on me because he clearly is a main character. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I would love to read a Stephen King book. I think we're going to tackle Sanderson first, so it might be a while out. But I know that I bought, and I did a virtual shopping experience where I browsed the Barnes & Noble's website like the bookstore, and I went to all the like top shelves and all that jazz. So I bought a few new Stephen King books that I'm reading in October. I seasonally read scary books. It's a deal.
I tried to start seasonally reading scary books last October, and I read I Remember You, and I'm not going to try to say her name because I'm going to butcher it. It's Icelandic. I'll put it in the comments. But I tried. I tried, and I failed miserably because it scared the crap out of me, and I was like, I can't read any more scary books.
What I found about Stephen King, for the most part, his books are not as scary as they are creepy. Mm-hmm. And that, yes, I would not be able to pronounce that name either.
Right, yeah, like Irsa. I
think it's like Sigurd Dottir or something like that, and I know that because that sounds like the last name from the girl in Sense8, and that's all I know. That's a fun TV show, but no, yeah. So I find Stephen King books more like creepy and suspenseful than actually scary. And haven't read a few of the quintessential ones, but I also have read the entire. And I don't necessarily recommend or think that you have to, but I've read the entire series that is for the Gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Tower.
Books like 4 and 5 were real not good, like really slow. It was rough. But I've read all of those. I've read It. I've read The Stand. I've read The Shining. There's a couple of ones I have to do. I think a few more I have to read before I'm like really Stephen King. Like I love Noelle's channel. Have y'all seen her? She basically loves Stephen King and has a little clown. I forget her last name, but big on YouTube.
I tried to read Cujo. Like the only thing I've ever completed by Stephen King is that one he did about the werewolf. It was like a short story, and it was part of an anthology that I read, and it was really good. But then anytime I've tried to pick up one of his novels, it's like, dude, I seriously don't care what any of this stuff looks like. Can you please just tell me what's happening in the plot? Like, he just spends so much time, like, with descriptors and stuff. And I'm like, can you stop? Like,
knowing what your reading style, I think you would enjoy The Institute. It's one of his newer ones.
Okay.
A little bit more, I don't want to say fantasy because it's in the real world, but it's sci-fi-esque.
Okay.
I really like that one.
Elements, then.
Yeah. I've also read Pet Sematary, which I enjoyed to a point, but I didn't love it.
See, I'm one of those like fuddy-duddy people who's like, oh, there are demonic children. I can't do that because I have children. And it's not because I think they're sweet little angelic children that will never do anything wrong. It's because I'm like, no, that little fucker will hide under my bed. Like, I can't deal. With those.
Yeah, well, I thought Pet Sematary was going to make me afraid of my cats, but it didn't. So, there's that.
So I know he has a few books under the surname Richard Bachman that are more like The Long Walk is one of them. Is the one I've read that are more like post-apocalyptic dystopian than actually scary books. If you want to try one of those, I like The Long Walk. It was kind of horrifying in like a way a society could devolve into like that, where you basically it's kind of like the Hunger Games, where you have kids that get chosen, but they basically have to walk until they die.
God.
Up the East Coast.
See, no, like
if you're the last one standing, you win. You don't stop and sleep. Well, I think you don't stop and sleep. It's like literally like people go crazy. It's kind of nuts.
See, now, like, I can handle psychological thrillers, and I'm going to transition over into movies really quick because I don't know a lot of, like, psychological thriller books. But, like, The Skeleton Key or, oh, my God, I can't ever remember this one. It's the guy, like, it has Leonardo DiCaprio. They're on an island. Shutter Island was another really good one. I can dig some psychological thrillers, but if you're just in there to freak me out, like I Remember You, like with ghosts and stuff. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not even somebody who like believes in ghosts, but it's like, no, that's weird. And I don't like it. It scares me, and now I can't sleep.
He also, Mr. Mercedes is like a detective police kind of thriller situation. I will say the villain in that one, and he flips perspectives on the chapters. Basically, it made me kind of hate the world because the villain was just so messed up in the head, and it was just like sick and twisted and demented. And I happened to be listening to like the "I'm on Fire" song by Bruce Springsteen during one of those chapters. And it ruined the song for me because of like the particular chapter that like it happened. So I was like, well, I'm never gonna listen to this song again while reading any books, because it's like a slow, low song, which I like to read books to. But.
Katie,
we're just hanging out because we're testing things, and now we're here.
Remind me to tell you my ghost hunting story tomorrow. So, like, I say I don't believe in ghosts, and that doesn't mean that I haven't had like weird encounters that I can't explain. It's just more like I don't want to believe in that because I've told myself that I'm going to write a story one day where like somebody is trying to see ghosts, and it's going to be kind of like white noise, but then one day they see ghosts, and it's like ghosts actually make up all of the empty space between you and someone else. So like they wake up to ghosts being everywhere. I'm convinced that's how ghosts would be, because if all dead people turn into ghosts, then there's no hope that there's any anonymity. Like, they're just all going to be there.
Yikes. No, thank you for that.
Right. So I'm like, no, I can't deal with ghosts.
I'm actually curious, Kat, because I know you write things and you're trying to do author things. What is that like? What does that mean for you? Like, are you trying to write books? I'm not a writer. I hate writing myself.
How do you say these things?
Well, I don't like fiction writing. I can do technical writing for like my job and stuff, but I don't like where I have to make up a story. I'm like, creativity lacks a little bit.
So like, I tried to look for writing jobs, and whenever it turned out that everything anyone wanted to hire a writer to do was marketing and tech writing, I was like, that sounds awful. Like, I never want to do it. So, good night, Carolyn. Bye. So I have a book in the works. I'm going to be pluggy for a second, but like, I've done 2 anthologies. I've actually done 3, but the 3rd one came off the market like in March. Ever After Again and Dragon Keeper's Academy. I like to write fantasy stuff.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually the whole thing that made me want to do the Brandon Sanderson read along and then the Robin Hobb Elderling along with Becca was that I'm trying to study these like bigger foundational fantasy works so that I can get a better understanding of it. Like, I'm kind of using them as textbooks, which is weird, but it's definitely what's happening.
Yeah, I think there's things to learn from any book you read. So if that helps you with your goals, that's awesome.
Right.
And they're also really good, so that's a bonus.
Right. Yeah. And then like
actually reading a textbook, because those kind of are not as exciting.
Exactly. And then there's times where like, I get really lucky too with Brandon Sanderson because he has the online lectures and he actually teaches creative writing at, I think it's like Brigham Young University or something like that. Yeah. And so he he does that, and then I get to read his work. So then it's like, oh, this is the thing that he meant when he said this thing about the thing.
Yeah, it's really cool that he puts those on YouTube. I've watched a couple of them, but I was worried that he would go into like spoilers with his books, so I stopped watching them.
He does. Like, I knew what was going to happen to Kelsier, and I was like, I don't even want to read this anymore. Like, he's my favorite character, and I know what's going to happen.
Mistborn Secret History. Kelsier's back.
What?
What?
It's really good. You should read it.
Wait. I've only read the first 3. Can I read it now?
Yes. It takes place like during the same timeline of those 3 books.
I know what I'm doing. Shit! I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Right.
No, hold on.
It's like anthology because I know that it has a lot of stuff in it. I wanted to get it in for the group reads, but it just seemed really ambitious to try to work it all in at the same time.
So yeah, this is the like British pretty copy. I like ordered like all of the Mistborn books and Warbreaker and this one from the UK store because I didn't own them. I listened to all of them on audiobook. So I was like, time to go shopping on Amazon.
Right.
It's only like 167 pages.
That's not bad.
And it was really good. And he kind of like does things in between when things happen with other characters, and it's really fun. So as long as you've read the first 3 Mistborn books, you should be good for this one. Arcanum Unbounded, you have to wait till you're done with the whole Cosmere, basically.
Yeah.
The only thing I haven't read at this point is the White Sands comics, so I was like, okay. But there's actually a little excerpt from those graphic novels in there. Now I want to read the graphic novels.
I have Arcanium Unbounded, but I've only read the certain parts of it that like are okay once you've read the books. Like I've read Elantris, and then I've read the 2 that go along with Elantris.
Those are really cool. I like those.
Yeah. So Secret History, I think, is in there, so I can just read it.
It is, yeah. I just also ordered it separately.
Right.
Yeah, I need to get those in for sure. I'm like, Brandon Sanderson is the first author who I'm like, you know what? Every single one of your books, every single thing you've written, I'm reading that.
I'm probably going to have to take a break after I finish the Rhythm of War in November just because it's been a lot of fantasy this year. Like, I want to read I think it's the Bastard Sons trilogy. It's the one that starts with the Fifth Element by N.K. Jemisin that everybody's talking about. My brother read the books, and I have, like, his copy over there. I'm like, I'll start that in January, but I need some downtime because I those are like the really good apparently too. And you want to read all one after another. So
I bought the N.K. Jemisin, the first book, The Fifth Element, because it was on sale the other day. Like it was like
the 5th season.
Fifth season. Sorry, I might have said it wrong.
5th season.
Yeah.
Fifth Element's a movie. It's a really good movie.
I like
that's a movie, actually.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy that one. I've been buying so many books lately that it's like you have to stop or you're never gonna read them all. I have to go.
me too.
Which sucks because I'm having a ton of fun. But
next weekend, so
yeah.
Yes, and it's gonna be awesome. And it is next weekend next weekend's like our double because I'm an idiot. I can't plan things.
So
how did we do that?
I didn't realize they overlapped. So what is the deal with that while we're on?
So like we wanted to give everyone a week after we were supposed to finish the book so that if you didn't finish it or like you hadn't even started it and you just really wanted to like grind it through, then you would have time. So we were like, okay, August 8th for the live discussion of Hero of Ages. And then whenever we were planning the Way of Kings stuff, we were like, yeah, first Saturday or first like full week of in August, we need to do a thing on that Saturday. And then Katie was like, so we're doing both at the same time? And I was like, yeah, because I already said we were doing that.
Cool. Am I helping or am I hanging out during the Well of Ascension or like the Hero of Ages one? I don't remember if I said I was.
You're doing whatever it is that you want to do. I'm just like, I'm so happy to have people who want to be on screen with me and geek out about stuff. So like, if you can't make it, that's cool. If you want to make it, that's totally fine.
I should be able to. I'm actually trying to figure out the schedule. Hold on. I found it. We're good.
Yeah, I was going to say one is at 1 and then the other one is starting at 3. So it would be 12 and 2.
Yeah, if you want to do one or the other or both or whatever, I'll probably be there the whole time because I don't have a life and I'll be in here.
Me and Sammy just like to sit in our offices and talk about
I'll actually be in my office for that next weekend. But yeah, so on that note,
bye. Thank you to our people who joined up with us. You guys are awesome.
Great to hang out.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.